Now, let's talk about Prince Andrew. So, what the exact moment was, who knows, who cares? But two things I just want to say on the behalf of my mates here in Australia that you can gladly take back to everyone in England. Number one, I couldn't care less about Fergie. I don't care where she has lived for 30 years. I don't care where she lives for the next 30 years. She was out of this deal. If she's been mooching from good luck, enough. I don't care. The second is that I always think about their kids. I mean, these poor kids having to put up with this bloke all day, every day. A couple of days in, after the sting of the shock has gone, where are people sitting on this massive bit of news?
Well, they're very happy, Paul, to see the back of Andrew, who, of course, is no longer Prince Andrew, just plain old Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, a very arrogant man, a man of very poor judgment, who lied on the BBC about the timeline with which he was still in communication with the disgraced paedophile Giuffre Epstein. So he's a liar. He's a man of poor judgment. He's brought nothing but embarrassment on the royal family for decades. I will say it's disappointing on the part of Charles, Paul, that it's taken the king this long to deal with his errant brother. I think something should have happened when Andrew settled with his sex accuser, Virginia Giuffre, a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, 2022, when he forked out in excess of £12 million to make this problem go away. Of course, he denies the allegations, no problem. But he's an embarrassing figure, and he's going to live in a humble property on the Sandringham estate. And as you say, give me the world's smallest violin for Fergie, who's in her own way just as bad as Andrew. There are some suggestions, Paul, that it was she that introduced Andrew to Giuffre Epstein. I don't have that on good authority, but it's my understanding from royal experts that I've spoken to that certainly she was instrumental in that relationship with Epstein. And she's got terrible judgment. She's always broke because she lives beyond her means, because she thinks that she's a queen in her own right. And now she's out on her ear. There is only one thing that might prey on the mind of King Charles as we speak, Paul, and that's the threat of a tell-all book on the part of Fergie. Now, she's quite a well-published author already. She's had her original autobiography, which was quite innocuous, and her children's books. But it's quite clear that if she did a warts and all autobiography that exposed every single member of the royal family, she would make millions.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing, right? The proverbial sort of gun to the head, right? Now, obviously, also, we're not making any allegations of involvement of abuse with Fergie. That's very clear. We're talking about, the circles,
it was the ill-advised friendship, her ill-advised friendship with Giuffre Epstein, exactly. And it's the fact that Andrew and her were in contact with him after his conviction for the most egregious crime of trafficking a minor. And that's
2008. Like remember, 2008, all right? So not even the, when he ends up in jail in New York and, the missing minute and the sleeping guards and all of that stuff, right? 2008. And again, The Guardian, among others, reporting this evening that there are emails looking forward to seeing him when he's getting out of jail. Fair income. But again, what you just said there about Fergie and the book, right? Well, presumably Andrew and the book, right? Which is, okay, if you're on the outs, the reality is that here's the deal, right? Someone somewhere says, here's X million pounds. Who cares if it's true or not? Go nuts, right? Write it, go nuts. Now, okay, the book may be unpublishable. It may be unpromotable, but it's all about an advance. And unless written in the contract somewhere was that it has to be printable, then it's one heck of a threat to make. But I don't know. There's part of me that just thinks, look, roll the dice. Like, so what's the worst they can throw out there? How best can we lawyer and buff the edges here? But again, I don't know that anyone's going to be wanting to sit opposite, say, particularly Fergie or Andrew, because if you got the chance to interview them, you're going to go, okay, thanks for the book. Anyway, so in 2008, did you this, did you that? In 2010, did you this or did you that? No one's going to sit there and give their story.
No. Well, that's right. And to be fair to Andrew, although he's a man of terrible judgment and, lots of cases to answer regarding Virginia Giuffre, he's never proactively sought to damage the royal family. And that's why I think a book from Andrew is less likely to happen. And I also think that Charles has said, I'm going to accommodate you at my expense in Sandringham. Yeah. And you can basically see out your days playing golf and riding horses. And I think that's the deal they've struck. Fergie, on the other hand, watch this space.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. You're ready for the next chapter. That's a man who knows what he's doing. Follow him on YouTube, Mark Dolan Show. You can also check it out on TalkTV in the UK. We love you, brother. We'll see you again next week.